More than 400 years ago, the Spanish brought to this land a most remarkable gift, the acequia, Spanish for waterway. Acequias were open ditches with dirt banks that carried irrigation water down the mountain from village to village, providing a miraculous conduit of life. They provided a primary source of water for farming and ranching in areas once occupied by Spain or Mexico, including many in New Mexico. And many of these acequias still exist to this day, an honorable sense of responsibility that goes back generations comes with having an acequia quench the thirst of one's land. The community must participate in the maintenance of the waterway, including the annual springtime cleanup. This is considered a sacred duty. This commitment to maintaining the acequia bonds the community together. It becomes an integral part of the community's philosophy that the welfare of all is valued over that of the individual.
So this is the Santa Barbara, this is the beginning of the watershed, and this is the main compuerta. So all of this is like a river. It's been here for thousands of years. It's off of this that acequias are diverted for agricultural uses to keep families alive. The 12 families were granted land, the Las Rambas land grant, in 1751. And so before they could come up here and they could be awarded land, they had to build a church and they had to build their acequias. And so this was before they were even allowed to have land. They had to have this work in progress. So it took the 12 families 12 years to dig 12 miles of ditch.
Going back to 1751 is when the original 12 families that lived in Santa Fe, the barrios of Santa Fe, were given this 32,000 acres of land to come and build a community here as a barrier between the Indians, the Comanche and the Apache Indians, and Santa Cruz de la Cañada and Chimayo. They're being attacked almost every day, so this would sacrifice people really. And but they came and they started building this in 1751, and by 1760 they applied for permission to build a church, and they got granted permission. It took them from 1760 to 1776 by the time they were able to Christian the church.
So the Rio Santa Barbara breaks up into 3 different streams that provide water to various communities, including Chamizal, Ojito, the Llanos, Peñasco, Rio Lucio, Rodarte. Many communities benefit from this water.
The acequia right here is our means of irrigating our land. So this acequia actually is born way out there at the mouth of the community, one for each side of the community. And this one goes from one end of the community to the other. It dumps into a river way over there.
So the beauty of the acequias across the state, but in this area, the water flows up from the mountains, from that snow melt, and down into the community. And then the community utilizes this water for a variety of agricultural purposes, everywhere from ranching and water for livestock to growing crops, for market, for sustenance, for sharing and trading.
Acequias are a very important part of our communities. They're the life of the community. Without water, we couldn't have the corn over there. So we couldn't have the grass here. So it's got to be managed properly, otherwise it doesn't work.
And this is, not only does it provide this agricultural web and fabric to the community, but it also provides a democratic and community structure, because the acequias are run by a 3-member commission and 1 mayordomo, and they are recognized as political subdivisions of the state.
So we have a president of the acequia, we have a treasurer of the acequia, and we have a secretary of the acequia. And then we have the 2 mayordomos, yeah. Yeah. And they're in charge of managing the Acequia Association. We have one acequia on each, one on the north side of the community, one on the south side of the community. Each acequia has its own mayordomo. The mayordomo lots of people, the different tracts of land, different people that own the tracts on a 24-hour basis. So the mordomo keeps track of the water all the time. He keeps track of who has the water and how much water there is in the ditch, and who. They go what they call we call it the toka system, which means that you go as you come. That tract of land gets 24 hours. My tract of land gets for 24 hours. That tract of land gets for 24 hours, and it keeps on going up, except the rotation system, all the way up, and then it starts again from the bottom for another 24, all summer long. That's the way it works.
I just want to mention, just because this is in honor of the celebración, that two of the biggest problems that facing our communities is that the younger generation don't have a connection to the land, and the bond and the brotherhood and the allegiance between the Hispanics, these Hispanic communities, and the Pueblos is also breaking. And so those are two of the biggest problems that I believe if we address and we take care of, that we're going to be okay. So we have to teach our kids, our youth, that we have to use our land and our water, and we have to talk about the importance of staying true to our alliances, you know?
In particular, our land grant now is managed by the Carson National Forest, and in Camino Real Ranger District is the one that manages our land right now. But we are on the train to try to get it back, in a mission to try to get it back someday. I don't know if that'll happen, but it's a start.
It's a big job.
Yeah. So, more or less, that's in a nutshell. Someday we might be able to get it back. We might not. I probably won't be alive by then, but maybe the kids will be able to reclaim their land.